All right. Good morning. Happy Friday. It is Friday, March 6th. NASDAQ gapping lower. Post NFP. Okay. All right. So we're looking at a gap lower this morning. Yesterday, price tested the 24,800 level of interest. This just continues to be a sideways range. Let's look at the 4 hour. Sideways range, sideways range. Past couple of days, price spent some time near the upper section of that near term range. And now this morning, we're seeing price back into the lower portion of the near term range. So I want to see if and where buyers start to step in down through here. I'll be keeping an eye on a couple of different areas. 24,700 remains a significant level. We do have the weekly open and then last week's low right through there. The 580, 580 is a level of interest. And then, of course, the 500 by 450, that's more of a zone. And again, looking to see if buyers are going to step in now that price is back into lower portion of that near term range. We do have a 10 a.m. data print this morning. So that is something to be mindful of. Post NFP, you get the initial reaction lower, little bit of a bounce into the fib sell zone. We talked about that yesterday during the TMG, the coaching call in the traders think tank. I love that strategy for red folder news. And then price just shows continuation move lower. Very nice. So as of right now, kind of in no man's land. I would not mind seeing something like this morning. Uh, Bounce, retest, and then give me a long entry right through 700 would be phenomenal. We see continued weakness. I'll watch the reaction at 580 and then maybe down into 500. See if there's going to be reversals at either of those levels. That's the game plan. That's the plan for this morning. About 90 seconds till the open. Sushi Friday. Yes, sir. We got sushi on deck this evening. Good volume this morning, of course. No surprise there with NFP. And higher time frames, like I said. Sideways range. Let's check the daily. Yeah, the daily. I mean, this is pure daily time frame barcode. Range within a larger range. Got like a barcode range right there here. And then a much larger range at play. You got that little mini range, like right there. And then this larger range. Fun stuff. Fun stuff. Okay, here comes the open. Right at 685. It's pretty much right at that weekly and monthly open. To take the profile. Good volume right off the open, per usual. And we're watching the 700 area. Looks like value area low for the week is right here at 725. Last month's value area low for February is at 685. That's right near the weekly open. Where's the year to date? Yeah, it's still higher. So year to date value area low is at 945. Staying patient right now. As always, near the open, staying patient. Let the intraday structure build out. Let the setup come to you, right? Don't force it. Don't force it on a Friday. You're gonna spoil your weekend if you do that. Man, I can't tell you how many times I've blown a good week on a Friday. Oh my goodness. Especially with options. It's it is easy to do with options. Same day expiring options. Oh man. Nasdaq fresh highs. Okay. So we'll see if we get a little structure to build out. Scale this a little better. There we go. So price ended up doing a lot of volume down at 650 during that pre-market sesh. Not enough to shift the volume point of control, but a big high volume node beneath current price point. Just kind of making a mental note of that. And it's not MCS today at 10 a.m., I don't think. Yeah, business inventories. All right. More of a minor print. Lower impact print, rather. So no real acceptance above 700. And ES is down through the overnight low. So some relative weakness there in ES. So far off the open, this is just some 1 minute barcode. Let's take a look at our 5 minute RTH. There we go. Is that a new low on NASDAQ? Yeah, new low right there on NASDAQ. So rejection at 700. This might be a wait till 10 a.m. morning for me. Here comes the overnight low. There's your extended hours volume point of control shifting lower. See that? Shifted into 650 right there. A little undercut of the overnight low. Not planning on any spring setup here personally. Let me see that ES structure. Oh, ES coming into lows for the week. 67.20. 67.19 right there. So the ES structure is definitely looks more bearish than what we see on NASDAQ. Yeah, look at that daily bar. Wow. And toss a level right there. Keep it on my other chart. This week's low. That is 6718.75 on ES. Okay, getting back into 700. Spring setup worked nicely. Good spot to reduce if you're in there. Like I said, no position personally. And let's see how 700 is going to be treated again. Albert's in there. Albert, you grabbed the spring, I guess. Overnight low spring. Nice work. Nice work. Make sure you lock some profits. This target area. This little bounce may have saved that 15-minute bar. If the 15-minute closes as is, that looks much better for the long idea. Let's see. Still has 4 minutes on it. Volume surprisingly low. Surprisingly lighter volume. To the tick wicked out. It happens. It happens. Good entry though. Assuming you were entering down there near 612. A nice trade. Nice trade, Albert. All right, NQ getting back into session highs here. So maybe a new high of day and then a retest at 700. Little market structure at 700. Let's see. Let's see. I'm still cash for RTH. Still cashed here. Staying patient this morning. And 15 opening 15-minute bar is getting ready to close here. Will it be a doji? Is that just going to be a doji? Oh, my bad. Thanks, Pratik. Yeah, only one setup so far this morning. Overnight low spring, and now price just struggling with 24,700. Look at the wicks. Opening 15-minute bar does close as just a indecision bar, a doji. Yeah, Rich, a couple ticks shy of the new high of day there. Not quite, not quite. Little uptick in volume is good to see. And we have data in 15 minutes. Look at the 5 minute. 5 minutes just barcode, right? Price has yet to leave the opening 5 minute bar. Well, yet to show acceptance out of the opening 5 minute bar. And price right back into session lows, just about. ES has marked a new low on the day and is actually making fresh lows on the week. So ES continues to show that relative weakness. Right now, price is telling me to do less. Price is telling me to wait. Good ES just barely look beneath that weekly low. Pretty slow open. Pretty slow open. Below average volume and some sideways trading here. Some churn up against 24,700. Again, still looking for the action above 24,700 with then a structure based entry. Until then, I can wait. Until then, we sit on hands. A little bit of a push. Let me see the new high of day. The new high. Come on. There it is. New high of day. Albert. Albert, you back in there, man? Oh, Albert. We do have data in 8 minutes. Don't forget. Don't forget the data. Don't be surprised by 10 a.m. data. Thesis was still there, Albert. Nice. Would you grab a higher low or something like that? I would guess. The higher low entry. Fully out just small scalps. Solid. I like it. Just more churn here. More churn. This market may need 10 a.m. behind it. Let's see if I get stopped here. That was the idea. That was the idea, so got to take it. If this gets stopped, that'll be first stop of the week. Not bad. Not bad. They're gonna come, right? You can't avoid them all. Cannot avoid them all. ES definitely not helping. ES rejecting overnight low again. And it looks like this opening 30-minute bar is just gonna. And we still have 5 minutes, so you don't want to speak too soon. But currently shaped like a doji. Here's the stop 6825. So that'll put me 1 for 2 on the morning. We did have some post NFP scalps. There it is. All right, first stop of the week. First stop of the week right there. And the idea, like I mentioned, looking for new high of day and then a retest at 700. So just got a little chopped up. What I like to see now is price leave this intraday structure. This. Let's get out of here. Critique spring on RTY. Early start to the weekend. Yeah, that may be the move if this sideways action continues. I mean, look at the 5 minute, right? It's like barcode, barbed wire, whatever you want to call it. No direction. But 10 a.m. is in little less than 3 minutes. So let's get that data print behind us. See how we're looking. Volume below average as we get into 10 and 90 seconds until data. So really, I like the same idea. Post data, fresh highs with some structure at 700. I'd try it again. Just based on where price is located within the higher time frame range right here. Otherwise, looking at 580, downside level of interest, potential reversal. Let's see. Let's see what's next. ES did mark a fresh low. So the S&P continues to be pretty weak. And here comes data. 10 seconds. There's a decent bounce right there, huh? Little bounceola. Okay, there's 10 a.m. NASDAQ back into 700. There's your fresh high. ES looking above overnight low. NQ into prior day low. Albert needed that push earlier. Yeah, same. Like I was saying, though, I thought we may need 10 a.m. data behind us. And indeed. So price is testing prior day low and the 24,800 level of interest. We'll see how that area is going to be treated. But the long ideas were spot on. So all good. All goody. There's PDL. First test. No surprise to see some selling there, some profit taking. The real question is, can ES sustain above overnight low? Nasdaq, very slight fresh high right there. By a couple of ticks. Prior 30-minute bar did close as a doji, as an indecision bar, but now pricing is up and through prior bar high. Not a lot to work with so far. Pretty slow for a red folder day. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. What's our ATR? Well, with the overnight sesh, it's almost a full one ATR move. We're 88% of the current ATR. ATR 605. Price has put in 532 points. Price just kind of consolidating here just beneath prior day low. And ES retesting overnight low. Intraday structure point. How's everyone's morning so far? Nasdaq just sitting on value area high for RTH. That extended profile. There we go. So retest, intraday structure, value area high, not quite into 700. I wanted a little bit lower right there. Cash one break even. Dairy free over here, avoiding the churn. Albert 2 for 2. Nice. Cash 1 for 1. Cash 1 for 1. Solid. Solid, solid, solid. There's a little retest. Let's see. See if we get a signal. Good volume. Below average as we get back into 700. And no signal at 700. No signal. That might be it today. We'll see. We will see. Pretty much on that stop, just gave back my my scalp gains from NFP. This is a lead 50K account. Down $16 on the day. So basically a flat day. I'll keep watching for another entry. But given current action, pretty low expectations here, just based on low volume and the action that we currently see for the sesh. Ethan starting the weekend early. All right, man. Take care. Enjoy. Critique this bounce looks suspicious. RTY and ES trying to roll over. Yeah, I would be more concerned if ES took the lows. Right, as of right now, it's just consolidating above the weekly low, right? Josh, might be time to get some early sushi. I hear that. Although sushi for lunch, it really does not hit the same as sushi for dinner, if you ask me. Does not hit the same. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Might as well lift this. Sushi for breakfast? Nah, get out of here. Get out of here. No way, man. No way. No way. And if I could grab the highs, if I could grab session highs, what's our high? I'd be happy right there. A little bit tighter. You want to give it some room, but not too much. Okay, there we go. A little more, little more. Rich, canned sardines for breakfast? Man, what? What are you guys talking about? There we go. There we go. There we go. That's better. So same idea, right? Look at my entries are nearly like as far as price point, entries are nearly identical price. It's adherence to the game plan right there. Market structure near the level that I want. Both ideas essentially exactly the same. I had mentioned a new high of day and then a pullback into 700. So I want to see displayed strength, which would be the new high of day. And then I need an entry, which is going to be at my level. My level is 700. Of course, I did have the confluence of the weekly open and last week's low down at 682 and 668. So that makes this whole zone relevant, right? But we get the fresh high post 10 a.m. Price pulls back into that area. Initially, there was no signal, but we get the long. We get the long on the bounce with an uptick in volume, with very nice RVol, elevated RVol. So that would be an A+ opportunity for me, and we execute accordingly. And just back to green, on the session. Look at that. Gave back all of my scalp on that one, that one red trade, and then recovered all of it. So this is the lead 50K account that I trade that is then copy traded. And there's just 3 micros. Just 3 micros, right? Unfortunately, that loss that I took made my weekly stats have some red. I was gonna have the all green week, purely green week, 100% hit rate on the week, but alas, I did not. We took the stop. Still just looking at my weekly stats, 96% hit rate on the week. We'll take it. We'll take it. We'll take it. Let's see how 800 is going to be treated here on NQ. Muggsy, thank you, sir. It was honestly a slow week. It was a pretty slow week. Pretty slow week. Let's see if we get another entry. Volume has improved, but I do like closing the week on equity highs. So if we shut it down here, wouldn't be mad about that. Are you still trading on Top Step? Yeah, absolutely. I got 5 XFAs with Top Step. I'll always trade with Top Step. Always. How do I why did I just lose some data right there? Good old trading view, good old reliable. All right. So one piece came back and we lost another piece of data. Okay, nice. Top Step, I'm excited to see. We talked about this earlier this week, but I'm excited to see what their own brokerage rollout looks like. I'm very curious about that. It looks like it could be a really cool program. So we'll see how that goes. But I don't use the Project X interface. It's just all copy traded through Tradecopia, which has been really solid. I don't even know how long I've been using it now. Maybe 4 months, 3 4 months. Tradecopia. If Topstep pulls it off right, it might give them quite a lift as well. Yeah, I would agree with that. I think they've not been without their issues recently, but I think they have, all things considered, pretty good leadership there, and personally, I think they're headed in the right direction. My personal experience with Topstep has been stellar, so honestly, tough to complain. Never had an issue with payout. I've taken tens of thousands of dollars in payouts from the company. So, I mean, what is there to complain about, really? And I started trading with Topstep back when probably a lot of you will not even remember this, but Topstep used to have a 2 stage eval, and the 50K was seriously like $300. That was 2021, about 2021, 2022. So the prop space has come a very long way in a short amount of time. And it's good. You have a lot of competitors in the space now, which is good. It makes for better products for us. They're still leading the industry. Yeah, definitely, definitely, without a doubt. So we'll see what that broker rollout looks like. I think they're planning on this summer. I'm not sure, but I definitely hopped on the wait list. So I'll be one of the early adopters. And then as far as other prop firms, I'm trying out E8. I've got a couple of E8 markets, E8 futures. I'm trying them out with a couple of evals. They are originally in the CFD space. Some of these CFD prop firms are massive, like behemoth companies. So they can just do a futures arm, and it's like no problem for them. And then I'm checking out Goat futures funding as well. So two that I'm trying out right now. Next on my list to basically review is Perdia. I'm looking at the Perdia instant accounts, instant funded accounts. I think their model, they kind of have a little bit of a different model that looks interesting. And so I want to try that out. It's more of Perdia is like more of a they're more geared towards pushing you towards a live account. So it's not set up for like big sim payouts or anything like that. Go is a Chinese company. Okay. As long as they send dollars in USD, uh, to me it makes no difference. But that's why we try it out. That's why we review. We'll see if they actually pay, and then I'll share my experience. So you fund the Chinese government? I mean, I don't know about that. Is using a prop firm based in Hong Kong funding the Chinese government? Maybe. What a strange question. Like what? Like what? I'm using probably 15 different prop firms that are based in the US, and I'm trying out another. Yeah, just send the cash, like Rich says. Just send the cash. You fund the Chinese government with a $50 eval that they're then gonna pay me $2,000+ for? Like what? Hong Kong has its own government. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the question was trolling or well thought out, but this is the internet. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Personally, I wouldn't consider that funding the Chinese government. But if there's something I'm not aware of here, let me know. Not cool calling you a troll. I did not call you a troll. I said I didn't know if your question was trolling. Did I say you're a troll? Rewind it. Rewind it. Nasdaq up into 830. So we just have drift higher right now. Bump it into VWAP. Basically, for another entry, there's a couple of things I can do here. Extension higher, right, and then retest into the zone. This been the pretty typical entry as of late. Push higher, retest, long. or from here pull back into 700, the zone we are currently familiar with. Long. But based on volume right now, it might just be getting time to call it. I mean, we're 2 for 3. It's pretty much where we're at on the day right here. I was looking at 700 longs. We executed 2 700 longs. First one was not a full stop, but almost a full stop. We got one contract peeled off. Some NFP scalps up near 800. Those I kept very, very tight based on the fib sell zone. So price had the initial leg lower, and the fib buy zone or fib sell zone is a really strong strategy on red folder news, and I didn't really want to be fighting that. So we kept those tight, and we could see that that fib sell zone idea worked beautifully. I trade long only, so not going to be in there. But that's pretty much where I'm at on the day. What's on deck next week? Let's see. What are we looking at for next week's action? FinViz has so many ads now. Here we go. So big ones I'm seeing on Wednesday: CPI, and Friday we have GDP. Oh, and PCE on Friday. Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th. I'm not a superstitious individual, so that doesn't bother me. But Friday the 13th next week. The following week, just kind of looking ahead for some of the regular viewers here. There will not be a stream on the 18th, the 19th, or the 20th. I'll be doing well, number one, I'll be attending a friend's wedding. And then number two, I'll be doing a house finding trip in California. So I'll be totally offline the 18th through the 22nd. So just FYI, that's still 2 weeks out. Chrissy, what's up, man? Pratik, initially renting. Initially renting. We want to make sure we like the area and everything. Just makes it easier for mobility if we end up not liking the area. Plus, personally, I don't know how the rest of y'all will feel about this, but personally, I think renting gets a bad rep. House ownership has a lot of pluses. Building equity. I mean, I don't have an issue building equity in the market, so that's not a big concern for me. I do like the idea of being able to modify your place. That's really cool, and having land. But renting, you don't have to deal with any of the repairs. And repairs right now are top of mind for me because I was saying last week in the Traders Think Tank, we had our dishwasher fail and puke all the water out onto the hardwood kitchen floor. It then soaked through the hardwood kitchen floor, and there's a 3-story place. Soaked through the hardwood kitchen floor into the cavity below, and then fell through the garage ceiling. So so we're talking about a lot of damage that I just I don't have to do. I'm not responsible for any of it. And so they've already been making those repairs. Absolutely sucks for the landlord because during the same week our hot water heater failed. The hot water heater started spraying water everywhere. And so uh yeah, it was quite the week. It was quite the week for the landlord when I started submitting those maintenance tickets. And as a homeowner, I mean, I know there's like home warranties and things like that you can get, but as a homeowner, I mean, you're on the hook for all that. Like some of my friends who have bought houses recently, like come to find out that the house needs all new windows or needs a roof, and it's just like, oh man, shit adds up fast, very very fast. So a lot of folks hate on renting, but I don't think it's that bad. I mean, there's definitely pros and cons to both. Chrissy, a whole weekend at Home Depot if you own it. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Rich happened to your sister, 100K in water damage. Oh my goodness, man. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's insane. Josh, depends what you want in life. Yeah, that's true. I definitely want to own at some point. I'm just saying, I want it to be like I'm patient, right? I can wait. I can wait for the right spot. Rent or build, not buy. Yeah, building would be cool. I think if I was gonna stay in Dallas, building would definitely be more accessible. In the parts where we're looking at in California, it's like the supply. You'd have to do a tear down, like a full tear down, and then a new build. Muggsy, I bought a fixer upper at an auction in 2024 after a few repairs that added tons of equity right off the bat. Yeah, that's solid. That's solid. I love stories like that, but I actually feel like that's not the norm. Like that's not that common. At least just based on uh people who I know IRL in real life. Buying the Palisades. Oh man, I don't want to be anywhere near LA. I do not like LA. Uh if you're from LA or if you live in LA, I'm sorry. I hate LA. I hate LA. I love Southern California. I hate LA. Oh my goodness. I cannot I avoid LA like the plague. Like Albert Albert. Uh Jacob, I'm not sorry LA is ass. Yeah, Jacob, you're in a little hidden gem there. OC, I feel like a lot of people don't know about it. It's an absolute hidden gem. Albert, first thumbs down ever on this channel. Just get a bike and you're good. Oh man, yeah. I mean, I've never lived there, so I can't say I can't say for sure. But every time I've passed through LA, I'm just like I could not do this. Could not do this. But we'll be back. We'll be back in a couple months. It's coming up fast. It's coming up fast. We may have to do like a PTG meetup because it looks like a lot of people are in Southern California. I know Tanner's out there. I know Christian. I don't know if he's in the stream right now, but Christian is out there. Uh, we're gonna get Mish out there. So Dez is in OC, pretty sure, or no, Oceanside. Jacob's in OC. That'll be fun. What time is it? All right, a little more than 1 hour into the sesh. Income tax, yeah. Income tax, not fun. Not fun. Not fun. Not fun at all. In Texas, no state income tax, but property tax. They get you on the property tax out here. The property tax in Texas is serious. Hoping the property taxes and income tax goes away. That would be amazing. That would seriously be amazing. I won't hold my breath, but that would be great. Genesis, get to know the area if you liked and think of buying. Yeah, that's pretty much where we're at, especially with wanting to start a family and everything. I do think ownership is definitely the move. What about trading taxes? Uh, so I'm not a CPA, but I do have all of my trading accounts and all of my prop payouts go through my business, which helps. Which definitely helps. So if you take pretty consistent payouts, it would be worth looking into routing those through a business. But as always, talk to a CPA, do your own research, everything like that. You're in Dallas a week ago. Yeah, you lucked out. It's been last week was really nice. It's been warming up, thankfully. I'm not a fan of cold weather. I've discovered LA is a hellhole. See that I'm on that same page. I'm on that same page. Yeah, LA like pass through if you're going towards Santa Barbara or something from San Diego, but came from 20 degrees in Chicago. Oh, you were loving life then. You were loving life. ES just tested prior day low, rejected. So NQ a very nice continuation. I thought we may see more of a rejection at the highs, which is why this is so funny with trading. Like the like you guys that have been watching the stream for a long time know I typically trail my third contract. This time I actually opted for the target, and of course, the one time I go for the target instead of the trail. That's just trading for you. That is just seriously trading. That's trading right there. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Yeah, all you can really do is laugh. All you can do is laugh. Chalk it up to the game. But I think we call it right there. We're an hour and 15 minutes into the sesh. Volume has totally died off. I'll keep an eye on 800. Fridays, personally, I like to just have a light day. I like to have an early day, shut it down. So it was an all green week, minus one trade. We took our first loss of the week today. I'll post the stats for the week in the Traders Think Tank. But overall, pretty happy, pretty solid week. Main thing is just respecting process, staying patient, and based on current environment, current conditions, just taking it, taking it pretty slow, really letting the trade come to us. That's kind of been the theme lately. So I think we'll call it right there. I want to thank you guys for your time this week. We'll be live on Monday, as always. I recommend getting some review done this weekend. Even just a quick look at your data, see if you could find any repeat issues within your trading, repeat patterns that continue to emerge, and then create processes for improving your game. That is really how you get better at this craft. It's not just showing up and trading, it's actually reviewing what you're doing in the market and looking for any areas of improvement. Otherwise, enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you guys on Monday. Take care.